to parameterize our routes so that depending on what you click from where you're coming from, I can use that parameter so that I can configure the component that I'm rendering. So one way of doing it is to provide the information right on the link. Right? So for instance, one link might say, 1, 2, 3, and the other one might say 2, 3, 4, but they both map to the same component, right? For instance, in our example would be a list of courses, right? Each one with a different ID, and you would have the same editor. They all navigate to the same course editor, yes? But the course editor needs to know, well, which course are you editing? I need to pass me as a parameter. So here the example is a trivial example where here they're both pointing to the same route, and the route is going to add here a placeholder, right? And that's what the colon says, right? This is a colon, so this is not a literal string. It's a placeholder that's going to allow the component to read this parameter and says, what's the ID? If I know the ID, I can now then load that particular content. Right? So the parameter, in this case the destination component can read what the parameter is off of the URL using a brand new property that is being passed along when it navigates to that component. So that component, that parameter is called match, and match, it's an object. It's an object of which a couple of things in there that are included in that object is the actual parameters in the URL, right? As a map, right? And then you can parse that map and retrieve each individual element in that map, right? So let's take a look at an example. So for instance, in here, as we're iterating over the list, right? In the list, the course list, this course list is generating these rows, right? And these rows are generating what? Are generating these titles, yes? And so all these titles should be hyperlinks, shouldn't they? Right? These should all be hyperlinks. So let's import here. Let's import link from React Router DOM. So these should be all hyperlinks, right? So this would be a link to, and this would be it would be what? It would be editor, right? It should go to what? To the string. We'd like to be able to do something like this, right? To the editor, and we would like to be able to concatenate the title. What? We don't have the actual course. I need the ID, right? The title is not enough. So we're not passing the course. That's unfortunate. So here's the that's a hyperlink. So now our list of a list of courses. Now these are URLs. See that? But they're not real. They're not really good. It just says editor. So notice if I click on it, it does navigate to the editor. See that? Right? So all these hyperlinks are pointing to the same editor, but they're not passing enough information for the editor to know which course to render. Yes? So let's fix that. So here the course row, instead of just passing the title and the seat, could we pass the entire course? Yeah, we can. There we go. Here we have the course. We can pass you the entire course as an object. Yes? So it's actually irrelevant that I have the title and the seats because I have the whole course right here. So presumably now I can concatenate here. What I would like to be able to do is concatenate here course.id. And I forget, do the courses have IDs? Did we put IDs? We did it, yeah. So this won't work quite like this, right? That won't work. Oops. What did I break? The console doesn't seem to be complaining. I must have broken something here in the class. All right, never mind. What I'd like to be able to do is generate this ID, right? And so So there is a syntax that allows us to do this nicely. We can put this in as an expression, and the expression is going to return a string. Notice the backticks. These are not single quotes, right? These are backticks, right? Backticks allow you to generate strings that are dynamic, right? There are concatenations of things, right? Concatenations using the plus sign is very error prone. You know, it's very easy to forget a plus sign. Did I open enough quotes? Did I close the quote, right? It's very hard to do good concatenation using just regular string concatenation, right? So what I'd like to be able to do here is just say Detour, concatenate it with the following expression, right? That's what the dollar sign means, right? I can now access the object.id. Right? This is much less error prone than using string concatenation. This is also part of new ES6. Right? It allows you to use this syntax. If I go back and I go to the list, okay. Let's see. To blah blah blah. Property ID. I guess we didn't have IDs. I did not have IDs. Where were they? Course list. Probably from here, right? Get instance in the course service. Yeah, I do have IDs right there. Why are you not? Why don't you like my IDs? Course of undefined. Oh, okay, so no, I'm not even getting the course. I'm not even getting the course. So that's the problem. Let's see the course list. It's iterating of the course row, and here is the course passing here. Here's a row, and here's a course. Course row. Let me see if remove that. Does this work? Course title. It still doesn't work. Property title of undefined. It does not like my course at all. Why don't you like my course? We could. This might be one of those issues I mentioned earlier about race conditions. I can say course and course title. Actually, no. Let's see. Can I put this in an if condition? If course and link. Let's see. Okay. Yes, there is a race condition that I need to fix. What's happening is that it's by the time it starts rendering, it doesn't have the array yet, right? And when it starts iterating, it doesn't have those objects. So there's a race condition between getting the data and actually starting to render it. At some point, it gets resolved, right? And I have already, and now I have the objects for rendering. That's why what I did here is that it's another technique that allows you to prepend any HTML with an expression that can be either undefined, false, true. In JavaScript, this is a truthy expression. Truthy means something that is not null, is not zero, is not undefined, it's not empty string. So all those are referred to in JavaScript as truthy expressions. So anything here that is not null, not undefined, not empty string, blah blah blah, evaluates to something that's sort of true, right? This is always true. So this whole thing only renders if both sides are true. Yes. So only when I have something here that is not undefined, the whole thing renders. Make sense? And what I want to render is this thing on the right hand side. So I need to fix my race condition. I'll fix that a little later. But what I wanted to show you is that as I hover over my hyperlinks, notice the /1. See that? Right? The /1. Each one has its own ID, /2, /3. Each one has its own unique identifier. See that? Now, if I click on them, notice that it goes to the editor, it has the 1 out there. See that? Right? But the editor has nothing, you know, there's no way for the editor to grab that 1 out there. See that? Right? We need to change the mapping so that the editor can read that ID. Right? So to do that, let's go back to the whiteboard, and this route, the editor, right? We can say / course ID. Right? Now the course editor is going to be able to extract the course ID from the path. Right? Let's go to the course editor, and the course editor can receive the match here, and we can render here match dot params dot course ID. Right? Oops. There it is. It says 1. Let's go back to the course, the list. If I click on 2, notice that it says course editor 2. See that? If I go back to the list and I click on the third one, it says course editor 3. So it is able to read this 3 right here. See that? So ideally, now that I have the ID of the course, I should be able to use the course service. Yes, I should be able to use the course service and say, hey, I know the ID of the course that I'm editing. Give me that course. Give me that course. I'll give you the ID. Give me the course. Now that I have the course, I can now render the particular course that you're editing, the modules of that course, the lessons of that course, the topics for that course. If you navigate to a different course, I'll show you some other list of modules, another list of topics, and another list of tabs. Make sense? All right, we'll do that when we come back next time.